Welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. My name is Coca-Cola Man.
And I am Saint Nicholas. I bring you nice presents of whiskey.
And I used to be green. I had a green gown.
Yeah.
Since 1960, something around that, and then Coca-Cola Corporation or Warren Buffett, I don't know who it was, changed to red, and then those this mixing up between the Coca-Cola Man and St. Nicholas appeared. So you're from the Catholic mythology.
Yeah.
He was a bishop from Myra.
Yeah, we've just learned that in the German stream.
Yeah, hot enough. Here we go.
So today we're gonna have
Take off your beard.
Today we're gonna have a little live stream and we're gonna try some whiskies. We have a assortment of whiskies, a few Irish, a few Japanese, and a bunch of Scottish. And yeah, we're just gonna have a little FAQ, ask me anything, live stream. So if you have any questions you always wanted to ask us in the other live streams, write them into the chat, and we will read them and answer them if possible.
That beard. Wow.
I'm gonna start with a Toki because it's light, nice, and balanced.
So you're invited to ask questions.
Yeah.
And please introduce yourself a little bit, where you're living, where you're talking from or writing from.
One of the products of the Catholic fairy tales and the other corporation marketing. No idea who is more evil.
I think St. Nicholas was no fake. He was a real bishop. He's written down in the books.
Yeah, the Coca-Cola Man is also real, but he's employed by the Coca-Cola Corporation.
And St. Nicholas was employed by the Catholic Church.
I'm not quite... When was the Catholic Church founded?
I don't know. I really don't know. They were illegal in the beginning. So when the Roman Empire switched over from their old gods to
wasn't it something like also 50, 60 years past because of the something, or I don't know how to say that in English.
Probably when the religion was then official in the Roman Empire. I'm not quite sure what I want to have. I think.
And yes, some people say the Saint Nicholas comes from Turkey. Yes, he comes from the place that is now Turkey, but back in the days it was the Eastern Roman Republic Empire.
No, I think it was still the United or the whole empire, and 486, I think, they split into the Eastern Empire and the remaining Western part.
Maybe because of Saint Nicholas.
So the original part.
33 nach Christus. So 30 years after Christ was born, there was the Christian Church. Seriously?
It is not quite sure that the date 0 really belongs to.
Yeah, Jesus from Nazareth was born in Jerusalem.
around 0, not exact.
He's
0.
called Jesus from Nazareth, and he was born in Jerusalem.
Was it?
No.
Yeah.
The fictional, not the fictional, but the biblical Jesus and the historical Jesus are two pair of shoes, and also with probably Christianity. I'm not sure. We are really not experts on this. We just put on these gowns to have something to talk about.
You're really wrong. You have to take off your gown.
Why?
Bethlehem. Yeah.
Seriously, you were Bethlehem?
Yes.
But
he's right. Flurbricks Ray, he's right.
Yeah, but the Messiah comes from Jerusalem. No, Bethlehem, wasn't that one of these guys who brought the gifts?
Bethlehem is a town.
Yeah, and wasn't one of the guys from Bethlehem?
No, they brought the gifts to Bethlehem.
I think we
We
should switch
talk
topics.
later. You missed too much in school.
Three wise men and two wise
Well,
men.
in 312, Roman Emperor Constantine recognized Christianity as one of the permissible religions. And in 383, Emperor Theodosius declared Christianity official religion of the empire. Thank you, Alexis Roya. Okay.
Star from Bethlehem. Jesus from Nazareth.
He was killed in Jerusalem. Yes, that's
Messiah
right.
of Dune. No, that's a different book. I've read that book.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you have in your glass?
I have the Toki, and it's
Talk about things you're knowing.
yes, and it's the Toki, and it's a wonderfully balanced, fresh, light Japanese whiskey. And the thing is, today, the nosing is always with a bit of a really bad taste, because the
Color of the beard.
the color
It
of the beer
smells-
smells.
Ah,
so all the
I'm
whiskeys
sorry.
I'm trying today. I like fresh and a little bit chemical.
That's the revenge of Christianity to you, especially. Don't mock up around that.
What's the saying? Kleine Sünden bestraft Gott sofort. Is small sins God punishes immediately.
Yeah. What are nosing glass covers good for? Well, there is a vapor pressure inside the liquid, which leads to evaporation of the liquids in the glass, which have a less evaporation point. And if you have a cover on the glass, then the evaporation takes place until the air inside the glass is saturated with these substances, and then it stops. So the liquid stays more or less constant. Otherwise, the glass is open, then everything goes up right through the chimney and all the tastes are gone. And it helps you to collect smells. And on the other hand, you can fill more glasses, put lids on them, and then you can fast compare to each other and have a more intense feeling. That's the reason for lids. Yeah.
Not a question, but Kamikaze, the wind of the gods, that really sounds a bit dirty fart joke.
This was heavy metal, I think.
Isn't Kamikaze something with wind? I thought it was something with sun. Oh, I'm not sure. There's so much out there, and if you don't have your mobile phone, you can't look it up.
Andrew T., why don't you guys respond to YouTube comments and questions? Well, I did several years ago, and on all our channels I have daily comments about 5,000. And so I have no chance, and I said, well, I have to cut some parts off, and this was, I'm afraid, was the English channel, and as well the German channel with YouTube. And for the questions, the typical questions, we have our YouTube videos, and we answered a lot of those questions you find on Whisky.com in all the information sections, which has the yellow marks on it or the orange marks on it. There you find most of your questions commented. Yeah.
Oh, Brexit question. Do you think Scotland will export less whiskey in the first month of 2021 due to the uncertainty cause of Brexit? I think they will export less because they have to fill out certain papers by that time if they don't reach an agreement miraculously in the last minutes and somehow don't have to fill out these forms. So there will be delays of whiskey, I think.
Yeah, and they will export less because they're exporting more in December. So everybody orders. All we know, all the big corporations, they move a lot of whiskey from their English or British warehouses, delivery warehouses to the continent to bring them through as fast as they can, to have a buffer until the officials are able to bring the whiskies with the new regulation through.
There will be a deal. I think my theory now, I had many theories already, and they all went to the bin. And my theory now is there will be a deal, but it will be somewhere in March or May.
Yeah, that's one possibility.
That is a possibility. They don't have to. They can have a little period of no deal and then make a deal.
What would be the best, from my point of view, would be to have a deal saying there are no tariffs at all. We don't accept any other thing, but there are no tariffs.
They will have to accept something.
And that would be the best for everybody, that they regain their own command on their own country, but trade borders are removed or are kept low. But that would be an ideal situation. I don't think of.
I don't think this will happen. They have to accept something, because otherwise it's just the French will not take it. May, didn't she resign? There will be a trade deal in May. Yeah. That was done to death, I think.
Will Magic Man, hi Horst and Ben, at which stage does the filtering takes place during the making of whiskey?
Depends on which whiskey.
I've seen that at several places at the Chivas Brothers Corporation in operation in Paisley. I've seen that at the Signatory Vintage bottling. Typically, they are doing first the mixture of when you have blends of the single malts of the different distilleries, and then when they are mixed together, then they are going through the filtering and then immediately into the bottling. The same is with Signatory Vintage. When they are bottling the 43% with the copper tone lower half tubes, then they are doing a chill filtration, and there it's immediately in front of bottling.
Yeah. There was a thing. Are Japanese whiskies mainly produced in the north of the country? Nope. Or mainly. Depends on where you set north. So I would say most of them are produced in the center. So at the very, very top you have Hokkaido with Yoichi and now Asaki? I'm not quite sure. I can't remember what they called. Then you go to the mainland. Then you have the northern one, Miyagikyo, from also Nika. Then you have Shishibu, Mars in the mainland. I would consider that middle of the country. Then you have Yamasaki. What was the other? Hakushu. You have Chita. You have the new one in Shizuoka Spirits or something. And then you'd have the one with the white oak distillery, Aseki. And that was the furthest south I went, and it was really hot there, about 30 degrees. And by that time 2 weeks later, we went to Hokkaido, and there it was 0 degrees, so freezing temperature. And at the very bottom, you have one at Hiroshima, I think. But it was also kind of a plant, big thing like Chita. I couldn't enter it. That's why I didn't drive there. And then you have a small one at the very, very south in Helios. But I've never tried any whiskey there. I've never seen any whiskey from there. And but I think they are active. So that is Japanese whiskey for me. Are there any peated Japanese whiskies? Yes.
Yeah.
But
Yuishi.
Yuichi is peated. Yes.
Hello from Spain. Hola. Who made your cask table? Well, it was a cooperage, and they made that cask, and we got it from a distillery here in Germany, and then we cut off the top, which is here, and it got a foot from IKEA, and the other half, the bottom of the cask, is at my video studio.
Yeah, we used both ends.
Yeah. So
And
you
the other-
have the chance to have your foot below that. Otherwise, you would always sitting this way. It was horrible.
And an interesting fact about the rest from the cask, the rest of the staves actually got into maturation process as well, but it was into the sauerkraut maturation process and kimchi and some other stuff as well. So my friend cut them in pieces and put them into his jars where he makes sauerkraut, and it actually has a positive influence on the sauerkraut and makes it taste better. So a well-matured, oak-matured sauerkraut is something good, but then you might end up with the wind of the gods again.
Tim Hodes. Tim Hodes, do you fear COVID-19 has affected the distilleries to such an extent that the consumer will notice it, like less bottles and therefore price inflation? No, it's the other way around. We see a lot of closed establishments, bars, extremely hotel bars, and there the amount of bottles sold is close to nil. So it's gone, and then the travel value, it's gone as well. So there is a lot of whiskey not sold. And now everything is moving around to bring those demands the people have to different channels. And most of that goes to mail order, of course, not inside the US, which is still remnants from prohibition. But I now think it's no longer prohibition, but some market regulations for bigger companies. And so there are new ways to distribute the whiskies, and that will take some time, so that there is much more whiskey available, which is not sold. That should lead to reduced prices.
Yeah.
But in between, you have freighters, you have warehouses, and all of them have less inventory, less to carry. So they have, in particular way, increased prices not to go out of the market. So there will be a balance between lowering prices and rising prices through the whole supply chain. And what ends in the end, what comes to the customer, I would say nothing. It will keep it as it was.
Yeah. The thing is, in summer we've seen a period where I've reported in the whisky.de or com news that there were more and more distilleries switching from whiskey making to sanitation alcohol making. So we had about
But they turned back, I think.
1 month,
Yeah.
1.5 months. There were not really any reports of them switching back, so we really don't know how long that happened. So, but I would say 1 month of production you can easily adjust with other shifts and upping production.
Yeah, and we have to say this might be severe, because this year was the year I had more alcohol on my hands than on my liver. So there must be a lot of alcohol moved over to them,
Yeah.
or they had the typical column stills where they just moved over to 3 shifts instead of 2 or something like that.
Yeah. If I would have been Brown Foreman, I would have done alcohol and mixed in all the stuff for disinfectant, and then I would have come out with the new number 19.
That's number 19.
New number 19.
No, you can't.
Is that too much of a joke?
It's too much.
But it's not a joke. It's serious. You have the new number 19 to fight the COVID-19. So why not? Okay. There was a question for you. I got a question. Do you feel difference between chilled and unchilled filtered whiskey?
Yeah, so there is a study. I made a study 7 years ago, where I had samples, where I bought bottles unchill filtered and did the chill filtration myself. So we had an old an old fridge, and we had those filters. We took exactly the same filtering material that the bottlers have to filtrate that, and then we sent them, I think it was 1,100 or 1,300 small samples to over 100 of our very best customers, very well experienced customers, and they did a blind tasting, and they should said how they like it, and they had a range from 1 to 6, with 6 the worst and 1 the best. And it was interesting. So we had always 10 or 12 of each kind. And so it was very interesting that the result was that if you have a not well-matured whiskey, when the cask is a refilled cask, then the chill filtration increases the taste. So the ratings were better of 0.5 point. And if you have a well-matured whiskey with cherry casks and longer maturation, everything, then it had no influence if you did chill filtration or not. So it was a valid statistical study, and I don't know if I had it have it already translated in English. Yes, then you find it on the information.
It's on Whisky.com, information science or knowledge science, something like that.
Yeah.
And there you find study about chill filtration. It's pretty long. I think you've written something about 30 pages or something.
Yeah.
Most of them are tables. It's not text, but a lot of tables and
statistics. So these Highland Park 12, we had that a few days ago with the tasting, and it's really good.
I like this.
Really good.
This Ochentoschen 88 is a really good whiskey, and it's a PX sherry finish. And I have to say, it's a amazing whiskey. It's just wonderfully smooth and but a little bit on the oak side.
Alexandro Russo, can you detect the flavor of E150 coloring in whiskies? No, I can't. I would suggest, or I would say that close to nobody will be able to taste that. My wife did caramel herself, so we burned sugar, and I got a small bottle with caramel, and with that I colored whiskey, and I tried to find it out. So I had pure alcohol, added 2 drops, and tried to smell that. No way.
The thing is, you can't really do a study about that, because the chill filtration, the people could have cheated, but it's much harder to cheat with because you have to put it in the fridge and then look, okay, this is the one. Then I can say, okay, I rate this one better and this one worse. But with the coloring, it's easy for people to cheat because they say, this one is the colored one, this one is not the colored one. You'd have to. Did you do random sampling? Did you randomly sample? Everybody got the same, but they were not like one is the one and the next is the one without chill filtering, the next one without.
Completely random.
Completely random, but everybody got the same random.
No, we had only 10 or 11 for every person, and we got 3 sets of 10 something.
But every fifth whiskey was the same for the next person. So person A, fifth whiskey, person B, fifth whiskey was the same whiskey. Can't remember.
Yes, but not of C.
Not of C?
Because C had a completely different set of whiskies.
Ah,
But
there were
D-
different sets.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
okay.
D had the same as C.
Oh, okay. there were sets of. Oh my
Yeah.
God, that was even deeper. Oh, okay. Will Japanese whiskey get cheaper again in the future? Depends. So there are new distilleries in Japan, and also they are increasing the output in Japan. But I think until relaxation, we will have to wait at least another decade. At least.
Or have a a big recession.
Will Irish whiskey profit from Brexit? I don't think that there will be so much disturbances that people have to diverge into other whiskies. I don't think it will happen.
Joe Kaiser, he asked that every time. If you had to choose only one bottle of whiskey, which one would it be?
Last time it was with the island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the one I have in that moment. Otherwise, I would cheat and take more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. By the way, did you dye that beard? Yes, I did, but I don't like that dye. I already had that last year or the year before, but it's making it brittle or pointy, and there's some darkness behind that. So you really see that it's a black beard just painted white. You just see that there is black inside there. And
Next time we take H2O2.
and I get a blonde beard or a white beard.
No white beard, as it
A
should
white
be.
beard, yeah, sure. But I've already done that once, and it's really, really itchy.
Have you reviewed the Morangi Tale of Cake yet? If so, what are your verdicts? Grand Muir. Yes, we had that. So look it up at YouTube. You find that. And in the whiskey database on Whisky.com, you can go to Glenmorangie and look that whiskey up. There you will find the video as well. And it was very sweet and cake-like. Really, it matches. Mm-hmm.
If you could bring out your own whiskey in collaboration with a brand, which brand would you choose? We've not revealed that yet because we can't sell it on the market outside Germany yet. Or
Can we have the
close up?
close up? So here you have these caricatures of me, and this is my blended malt. I did it myself, and we can't tell what's in that, but we can tell which company made it. It's written on the back. It's Angus and D. They were quite creative and open-minded for my ideas. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And but we're not really celebrating it because of we can't really sell it. It's the same with the glasses. It's we love the glasses. The glasses are nice, cool, but we sell to Germany and Austria yet. we will ship to Belgium is on our list as one of the next countries, not the next country.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Your beard pretty much looks like the snow-covered tree just outside in my garden.
Pretty much, yes.
Why not to Switzerland? I've always wondered. Well, we shipped to Switzerland until 2004 or 5, and then those wonderfully regulating EC politicians decided to stack up a pile of regulations so deep and heavy and ugly and weird that we can no longer comply with that. And so then Switzerland said, well, we're making it more easy. We have a computer system where you can put in those parcels. Well, and that's not compatible to anything else. So it's double effort to ship to Switzerland.
Yeah, I think it's not that hard to ship to Switzerland.
It's just putting it in a box and ship it out.
Yeah,
it's regulation, red tape.
No, and then it comes back. But the thing is, if you ship something to Switzerland, you have to, get all the red tape ready. It's easy with something where you only have to put on VAT, but we have taxes on alcohol, so that's not easy. You have to calculate the tax because every state has its own taxes, and all the systems, all the IT systems are not made for the special taxes.
$2 tell. Ben, what happened to your beard? Well, he colored it. That's all.
Yeah, I'm St. Nicholas. Did St. Nicholas have a white beard? We now know that he was a Roman or Eastern Roman, lived in where now is Turkey, and he was a Christian. And did he have a white beard?
I think the Coca-Cola man had a white beard.
The Coca-Cola man had a white beard.
And the Coca-Cola man had a green gown.
At the beginning. And I think the Coca-Cola man used to be Muslim.
Why?
Because green. Green is Muslim is green is always, ooh, yes, cool, nice. I think the color of, isn't it? Or is that Spirit. Arabic? Is green Arabic? I'm not sure, but you think it was Muslim. But I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. I don't think it was Battleship Grey. What's
Battleship Grey? That's the Navy color.
It's not Battleship Grey. It should be white.
Artificial colors in beard E105 105A.
I don't care. I'm green, red, colorblind.
Flurp X-ray. Very good. That's wonderful.
What I always wonder is, how do these people stop at the stoplights? It's like, is it green or...
No, it's on the top and below. It's difficult in the US if you sometimes have them left to right.
Yeah, but if you're at night and it's far away and you're driving towards it...
The Tesla looks it up for you.
It looks it up for you, but if you're driving an old Chevy... I think there was a rap video and like something in the Fast and the Furious 1 soundtrack. I got that soundtrack, and there was one rapper going like, "Yeah, the stoplights, red looks green to me," and I was like, "Is he talking about like I'm cool, I'm driving over red lights, or is he talking about colorblindness?"
A severe shock can turn a man's beard gray instantaneously. No, not instantaneously. It has to grow out. But the color losing friend of mine had a real shock, and after that, all the new hairs coming out of his skin were white. Yes, I had one.
So if you have a really, really relaxed life, then your hair won't turn gray.
So the next step is, if you have a too extreme life, then the hair will be gone before it's turned gray.
Traffic lights. Red is not the issue. Green almost white to me. By night, not challenging. Okay.
Night challenging. By night challenging. Not
by night challenging. Yeah. Oh, okay. So because of white, you confuse it with the lanterns or with the normal lights. Okay. I always thought, why do they do red light and green? Why do they not red light and blue or something?
Probably it was the color. It was more stable in the beginning. No idea.
Yeah, probably because of ease.
Oh, Kono, can you do the Bill Murray commercial from Lost in Translation to promote your own whiskey? Horst Lüning, 10 Jahre, please. That would be epic. Well, I've seen that film twice. The last time, was it on Amazon Prime or was it on Netflix? Can't remember. And the second time it was, well, it brought tiredness to me. The first time it was quite interesting. The second one was a little bit boring. Yeah, probably. Have a look at that.
Do you plan to do some distillery visits next year, COVID permitting? I have talked to my producer, cameraman, and we hope to be able to do a tour. We have a full tour planned for May, and we just said we postpone it for 1 year. How is the outlook for May in UK? I don't know. They are starting vaccination in next Monday, so maybe.
Whiskybrazil.com. Do you have Instagram? Yes, of course we have.
May resign.
What do you guys think about the Kinahan? I just started it. This one is the cask project, batch number 3. I had it half an hour ago here in the glass, and it was extremely demanding. It was so oaky, so aromatic, different oaky, that I wasn't really able to taste the whiskey out of that. Probably it's a triple distilled whiskey from Ireland, so not that much taste from the whiskey, from the distillery character, but the cask, they were extreme. Whoa. So I didn't take it now the second time because it was too hefty. After that, it was difficult to taste another one.
My personal Corona test: a day, a sip of Artback. As long as I can still taste the peat smoke, I'm healthy.
Okay, so I bought a challenge, accepted. Hello from Greek. Well, I came back 6 weeks ago from Santorini.
Oh, these pictures look really nice.
Yeah.
Are they still not a danger zone? Or how do you call it in English?
Well, it was a danger zone because we had that earthquake coming over from Turkey, and then the stones fell off the walls.
No, but what do they call it in the international? We have them. Wie nennen Hotspots? Nee, Risikoland, risk countries or
risk regions.
A danger zone? Wasn't there a song about welcome to the danger zone?
Yeah, yeah. Welcome.
Highway to the danger zone. Yeah. No, you mean what? You know what I mean? That there's always these risk countries where you're not allowed to drive, which almost every country now. So yeah, I'm not quite sure. You went there. You didn't have any trouble when you came back, right?
I've seen on the island there had been 3 police officers at the airport. Nothing anywhere.
Nothing anywhere.
No policeman. Nobody telling you have to do this. You have to do that. Everything was with Top Gun.
Santorini. Yes, the Top Gun soundtrack was "Welcome to the Danger Zone." Yes, that was it.
Tom Cruise.
But wasn't there a second Top Gun now? With Tom Cruise? Oh.
Joe Kaiser. I'm confused about the signatory vintage. I've seen the same bottle design, but with different distillery names. What is this about? Well, the design of signatory vintage is a design for bottling different distilleries. So you have an independent bottler buying casks from different distilleries, maturing them until the bottler, the company signatory vintage, find them okay, and then they put it into the bottle on with the same label. So this is by purpose.
Top Gun 2 was not yet released. Yeah, I think they postponed it. You're right.
Is it Big Pete time?
Yes.
You have Big Pete?
I have Big Pete now.
I'm
this
not going
is
with that.
pretty much the end. And now it's Big Pete time. I had a bit of Jura and a bit of Highland Park. The Jura was very, very mildly smoky, and the Highland Park was mildly smoky. And now I have the Big Pete.
Alexandro Russo, have you heard about Gordon MacPhail opening their own distillery? That was surprising since they already own Ben Romach. Yes, I heard about that. And whether Gordon MacPhail is that big that really that's possible to have a second distillery. Yeah.
Here in Wales, the government has banned the sale of alcohol in bars and pubs. They tried to ban it from supermarkets too. But got pushed back for now. Yeah, Esther bought 16 liters of assorted whiskies to be safe. Okay, so I thought, yeah, they banned the sale of alcohol in bars and pubs. In Germany, bars and pubs are closed now. That's a shame. I went to a restaurant today and got a takeaway. Had to eat in my car. But it was nice to eat something from what you didn't have to cook yourself.
Tom Hodes, question here to all. If Horst and Ben missed this, I have a budget of around 150 euro max. Which whiskey would you absolutely recommend? Not a real fan of bourbon, but love Islay, Highland, Speyside, etc. 150 is quite a sum.
For one or for more whiskies?
I would say just take two. And one of them, from my personal view, would be Lagavulin Distillers Edition. And the second one, probably Talisker Distillers Edition. This would be some of my personal favorites. If you're going not to smoky whiskey, then I would say go to Glendronach 21 years, very good, or to a particular Glenfarclas. There you find up to 500 euros in several steps, so that you will find some wonderful whiskey at Glenfarclas as well.
I'm not sure what you already have. That's the thing. If you already have whiskies, or if you're not a beginner, then it depends. I would go for a few whiskies if you don't have anything, because you didn't say that you have anything. So I would really go for the Lagavulin 16, then for something like a Balwinnie 12 or what else? Auchentoshan 10. And
it's a 12 today. It was a 10.
12, sorry. And something like an Islander, something like a Talisker 10 or an Highland Park 12. That should be still below 150. Or maybe a Glendronach. Glendronach is also very nice.
So I won't finish that. So I have place for a third one, and here we have a 29-year-old Auchentoshan with a Pedro Ximenez finish. And this one is perfect for the last one. Do you have the close-up camera? Here we go. So it's 49.7 and finished in PX sherry casks, and those PX sherry casks have a sweeter. What do you have? The Big Pete.
I still have the Big Pete
going right through the roof at your nose. And the Auchentoshan, I had that half an hour ago or an hour ago, and that is hefty with the oakiness and a big sherry note on top of that. And the alcohol is strong in this one. Yeah, really good.
I have to admit, when I read PX first, I was thinking about the American garrison in my hometown. Shame on me. What does PX have to stand with garrison?
PX was the shopping or the stores for the military in Germany. So you had this public. It was postal exchange, I think they were named.
Okay.
And from that, they had the supply for the American GIs. And from that, we got our first audio equipment, those TEAC machines, those Marantz and everything.
Oh, okay.
They weren't available here on the German market, so we had friends at the army, and they got those audio equipment for us. Cheap.
Okay.
This was really good for us.
Okay. So it was kind of an exchange shop.
Exchange shop, yes. It wasn't extended. It was a postal exchange.
Okay.
So, Grandmere, I need to choose my dram for tonight. Tamdhu 15, Kilcarron 12, or Bladnoch 15 Adela. Which would you choose?
Didn't
Not
have
in that
the
sequence.
Bladnoch 15 Adela. I never had that one. Tamdhu 15. Tamdhu 15 is a good one.
Is a good one.
I'll
So
probably
I
go
would-
for the Tamdhu.
I would go as well with the Tamdhu. It's a very good sherry matured whiskey.
Paglo Gachen?
John T9. What might that be a language?
Are you doing the promille tasting or the alcohol tasting after your live tastings? No, but I should probably walk home tonight.
Typically, we have with each dram, you typically have half a centiliter because we leave the rest in the glass. This time we had more fun. We had more.
Yeah.
So there's no way to go, but we are far below, say, 0.8 promille, which would be the legal limit. No, 0.5. So
The 0.8 is a bit old.
it's a little bit old. But I was hit by a car 35 years ago, and I had a brand new car. And after 420 kilometers, I was hit by a drunken lady, and she just had 2 vodkas. And from that day on, I'm completely sober if I walk into a car or into a driver's seat.
You also will enjoy the rain on the walk home.
Yes, I will. Or I call my wife to pick us up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So this Auentoschen, from these bottles, there are 3 different, I think, or I know of at least 3. This 29-year-old. We had one of the very few 30-year-old, and there is I think a 28-year-old on the market. So they are wonderful whiskies.
Do you have to pay for your tasting bottlings, or can you declare it as business expenses? I also get paid for the time tasting it. Not really, but because of
No, it's of course it's business expenses.
Of course, it is.
Yeah. Love from India. Thank you.
Thank you.
29.
India.
West
Wait,
Bengal.
India is from. Isn't it like 3 a.m. in the morning in India?
Probably.
If you wanted to talk to anybody on the eastern side, you always have to get up really early. So it must be like something like 6 hours later.
10 hours to Australia, so 7 hours to India.
6-7 hours, depending on where in the country.
1:19 a.m.
Oh, 4 or 5. Maybe you got up early. Do you get a Daft Mill in Germany? It's like gold dust here.
Yes. And I had it already in front of the camera.
Eh?
The video will come out the next week, I think. So yeah, I had one, and I desperately wanted one. We got a few dozen of bottles of them.
It's 1:20 in India now.
So it's 1:20, so that's odd because we have 10 to 9 here.
Yeah, so it's only 4 hours.
It's not a full hour, it's something odd.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. It is your job to sit here. I understand. I also would like to get paid for whiskey tasting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Please make a video with Kinahan V23. Yes, Kinahan V, I had one quite a time ago. And I was one of the very few people who had a picture of the Kinahan V distillery. So I got a wonderful guide. He was quite unofficial at the Glenfiddich distillery. And I said, no, we do not want to see the Glenfiddich distillery. We would like to see the Balvenie distillery. He said, well, let's go into the other room. And then on the way out, I said, may I have a little look in that shed over there? Oh, that's the Kinahan V distillery. Oh, well, we go there. Look in. And I flash. No, without a flash. I took the photos. You find it on our whiskey database on Whisky.com of the Kinahan V distillery. It was really impressive. So yes, I think I should have that Kinahan V to taste if we're able to get enough bottles of that. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. So guys, just got a text message. You will be picked up.
Mm-hmm.
So your taxi is already driving here. So I think we need to close the stream at some point now.
Mm-hmm.
But there will be another stream on the 11th. I think if you scroll down, there might be the informations. I think I can remember that it was the 11th of December. And it's at 8 o'clock p.m. Central European Winter Time. And also there will be a beginner's live tasting in winter. And there will be advanced live tasting in winter, but go to whisky.com/live. There will be the dates then. So yeah, next week we will have a tasting with not the Coca-Cola man, but Horst again, and I will be here again as well. I think it's Speyside, the last one.
It's not that strange. The artificial beard. It's wearing like a mask.
Wearing like a mask, but I don't think you will get through with this one. Okay, so yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and thank you very much for chatting with us. Your questions were really cool, really nice, and there were some fun things and fun interesting things just to think about. That's always nice to with the questions that make you think. So thank you very much for watching, and see you next week.